Hello guys, this is me, Shydo Shiba, and today I'll be playing Major Minor 2.0. Yeah, I'm just gonna go straight to reading. Meanwhile, in a shading back alleyway on Earth deep into the night. So, how how are you holding up? I'm tired. You shouldn't have woken me up. Shock, you needed to know. The two of you went way back. So, I just wanted to talk to you about this. He was your childhood friend, after all. You should go back to your contest winners. Seems to me that they've been affected more. Maybe you should interrupt their sleep instead. Don't be stupid. You know I care about you, man. If I were in your shoes, I need a friend. Be thankful you're not then. Dang. Stuff your nose back in that tablet, Reek. Unless you want me to point out the irony. Sorry for caring. I'm not stupid. I know you're really... I'm not stupid. I know you really don't care. You're just here to find out if I'm staying or not. Just cut to the chase and get it over with. You're figuring out how this will change our careers. I really do care. I've lost people too, you know. That's not what I heard. You're in the business of abandoning people. You don't lose them, they lose you. Fine, then I'll pretend not to care. There, something you're good at. Singh decided to restructure the tour opening night. Will be more like a memorial service now. A smart way to minimize refunds. His fans will probably want to be there. He wanted me to ask you make a speech. You have the most history with Klace, after all. I'll think about it. Also, there will be a big announcement. Daz will take Klace's place in the tour. To that end, we appreciate if you stayed. She needs all the support we can give her. ... It makes a difference, Rocker. Agreed to stay. What do you think about that? I say I'll think about it. Very well. Can I go now? One more thing. About the contest winners. They're gonna wake up to some horrible news. Well, guess what? Me and Kyla, I forgot Kyla's real name, but we already know. That is, assuming they haven't heard it already. Singh was mentioning that we might send them home. Got it. Shock storms off, pushing Rook out of the way. Wow. And people think I'm a jerk. Well then, what's gotten into him? I think he skipped a few steps right into the anger of stage of grief. I guess we all handle things differently. Yeah, some more harmful than others. Thanks for coming to see me at least. No problem. Is there anything I can do to help? More than agreeing to headlines, not really. This whole thing can only continue because of you. Pressure. Sorry. You talk with Singh, right? Any new info I should be aware of? Well, about the murders, I think there's been a breakthrough. Really? And You found out about that before me? Ways. Really? And you found out about that before me? Apparently. Saying thinks that Klace's security guard could be the culprit. He's the only one with ample opportunity. And the death started when we arrived. Yeah, killing a random citizen isn't as hard, but an idol with eyes on him at almost all times. You can't pin somebody because of opportunity though. You need a motive as well. I guess that's $1 million question, but I also heard that the police are closing the case. Why would they do that? Jumping the gun, I guess. They are gonna label the deaths as suicides. Klace wouldn't do that. You sure? I know. But that leaves the fate of the case in our hands now. You want to play detective? I just want to know who did this to us. Yeah, but it's not that simple. We could just put a huge target on ourselves. And if they get us, the cops will just say we killed ourselves. We're dealing with someone who knows what they're doing. Just like a security guard would. Don't you agree? He did have a police background before going freelance. It explained how the crime scenes were tampered with. True. But this is just a lead. It could crumble when we pursue it. And pursuing it could put us in the sight of the killer. I agree, but it gets more interesting. Singh called the guard in for questioning. What did he have to say for himself? Nothing. It seems that he fled Tokyo. Uh-oh. Earlier in the night, in the privacy of Singh's office. What do you mean he's gone? It's just like it sounds. We can't find him anywhere. It's like he just vanished. How convenient. We found a letter in his room, though it simply reads, "I'm sorry." An admission of guilt, perhaps. It doesn't seem that way. If he did this, why would he be sorry? A serial killer rarely shows remorse. It could be a letter of resignation. Maybe he couldn't face us after failing. Or maybe it was to throw us off the trail. Now he can just go live in silence. I don't know, Singh. That's pretty far-fetched. Ironic, coming from you. Sorry, that was rude of me. It's just been a really long night. I accept your apology. The duress is clear after all. Thank you. So, what do we do now? You'll have to talk to Daz about all this. I can't give her every detail though. A lot of this should stay between the two of us. I agree. With the cops closing the case, I can only suggest we remain vigilant, pay attention to media reports, maybe even any further deaths. If they slip up, we need to be there to see it. And like all serial killers, they can't hide forever. You're right. I also suggest that we hire a new security guard immediately for all of us, just in case we're targets. That's a good idea. I have a few candidates gathered here. Went on a little hunt for CVs earlier. Dad, I've already run the background checks. We can't have another guard slip away when things go south. Wow, thanks, Jade. I couldn't do this without you. Don't mention it. I recommend the candidate named Archwin. I don't know if I said that right, but whatever. Though, he has an impressive past and a perfect track record. Very well. Can you send him here immediately? I'm sure he'll understand our need for urgency. Absolutely. But what should we do with the contest winners? We need to figure out this before sunrise. Bring them to me when you bring them to me when you wake up. All right? He places his face in his hands and sighs dramatically. We'll have to send them home. No, I don't want to go home. I believe next we go back. Yeah, we go back to where our point of view, aka Shydo's point of view. Alright. I stare at Kyla in shock for almost an eternity. How on earth did he end up in Terra just like that? Hey, are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. What I'm feeling right now isn't too far off from that, actually. I jump right into questions, trying not to waste any time. Well, I remember being in the hotel room. The reporter on the TV said that Klace was killed. Righty's ears was perked up and tilted his head. He seems confused though. To be fair, he probably has no idea what a TV is. All that I remember, though, a second after that, I was on the ground in Terra. In the forest, right? Yeah. I was terrified until Recti found me. But he got me up to speed and everything makes sense. Everything makes sense? I highly doubt that. Normally, the ritual would only bring over one other person when Kyla arrived. I assumed he was my objective. I wonder if the assassins actually planned it that way. Bait me with Kyla and summon who they actually need. Hey, I'm more than just bait. Sorry. Anyway, I think following the I think you're following the wrong person. I can't trust those assassins after what Riley told me. They're just playing into the king's hands. He just wants Claire to lose and Kaylin to die. There's more to it, however. Kyla tells me the there's more to it, however. Kyla tell me this ritual also affects your world. Yeah, it clicked in my head almost immediately. Shydo. Those assassins are causing the midnight deaths, whisking away earthlings from one world to another, to the other. And at the center of it all, Vela. Precisely. I think you should side with us, Shydo. We can rescue Kaylin and take down the king. It makes a twisted kind of sense. The rituals was performed at the same time each day. Wait, so you're saying that we're dead on Earth? I guess so. It's the only way all of us. Wait, it's only. It's the only way all of this makes any sense. And you know what they say about the simplest explanation. It tends to be the right one. Then Klace is alive on Terra? He has to be. Likely in Player's prison. That's where all the ritual victims are taken. Player is still imprisoning innocents then. Not necessarily. All off-roaders must go through official channels. That's why Indy and Conrad brought you to this tavern. Technically, the others were undocumented. They could get thrown in jail for dodging the process. Why are the assassins bringing off-worlders then? It's likely part of Vela's plan to take down Player. He could forge documents and claim that Player is imprisoning innocents. That is a theory, yes. However, one fact remains. When they find an empty mailbox, they will change their plans. Taking you to the king will leave Kaelin to starve. They'll bring you right to Vela. Then the king can do whatever he wants with you. I still have no idea what that is though. True, but can't be worth Kaelin's life. I think you should avoid the king, Shydo. Come with us and do the right thing. I agree. What do you say, Shydo? I turn my back. Do I turn my back on Indy and Conrad in favor of Kyla and Riley? I'm gonna be honest, guys. For the true ending, I don't know which one's the correct one. But for this video series on Major Minor 2.0, I'm gonna go on Righty's side. I believe you're right. I believe you, Righty. I'm on your side. Good. Thanks, Shydo. Now we're a team on Terra too. I think you should go back upstairs and act natural. We will come to you when we need you. Yeah. Don't let those two get suspicious of you. As long as you're okay, playing both sides for a while. I nod. I'm content with my decision. It truly felt like the right thing to do. I guess there's nothing more to say. You're free to go, Shydo. I will discuss with Kyla. I'll make sure to pay you a visit later. There's still so much I like to talk about. Feel free to pay me a visit anytime. I sure will. He rubs the back of his head with a nervous smile. I guess this is the perfect time to take my leave. Might as well head back upstairs and see what's going on. It's not like this could get more complicated or like anything like that. Wow, it got incredibly loud over the last while. The sun must be setting with the drinks flowing in tandem. I don't know if that's a spelling error, but probably not. Anyway, all the patrons look happy, like there isn't a care in the world. In this moment, it seems like Terra doesn't need saving after all. Of course, this feeling is imperial, I don't know, as most hopeful ones can be. The first thing that pops into my mind is the assassin's mailbox. Whether it was empty or not um, whether it be empty or not would definitely shed on Righty's theory. But at that moment, that all that's all everything seemed based on theories. It'd be nice to get some proof and ideally some answers. Hey there. Surprised at all the people? At night, it's more drinks than paperwork. almost makes all the hard work worth it. Okay, yeah, definitely seems like a fun way to unwind. These are better ways to unwind than booze. You run quite the impressive establishment. I know. He smirks and tilts his head back back toward a table. Follow me. We should talk for a bit. I know you were meeting with Frankie in that cellar. I shrug. I don't think there's any harm in him knowing. But a moment later, I follow him at a table where Pidgeot was sitting. Along the way, I wave over at Indy and Conrad. They were back. They waved back. Conrad Haji. Conrad has a huge glass in his hand, filled with what looks to be a beer. Somehow, I'm not surprised that he be the drinking type. Of course he is. I sat down across PB and Pidgeot. I'm pretty sure I know what he talked to you about. That man hates Vela with a passion. That that much was clear. That hatred clouds his judgment though. It's sometimes it's something we argue about all the time. He must have told you that Vela has some sinister plan, but I've gotta tell you, Vela is a great king. We've known nothing but peace and happiness under his reign. Well, except for, don't worry, I'm getting there. Basically, history of his rule go back 1,000 of years. He's been nothing but altruistic, I think that's how you say. Even me and Pidgeot owe that man a lot. I don't know why he's working with those assassins, but whatever he has, I know it'd be a good one. Yeah, I trust Vela over Righty. Thankfully, it's never come down to such a choice. I sense those two have some kind of history. That's for sure. Righty used to work for Vela. Yeah, they were super close until the incident. Incident? Well, me and Pidgeot were really young, but Vela started something called the Exodus Project. Exodus? That name seems eerily familiar to me. Yeah. Pro- it's probably talking about the Bible chapter Exodus. Anyway, you know how lots of off-worlders come here? You might not know this, but they're stuck when they do. Stuck on Terra. Or like a one-way street. Luckily, most people don't want to leave. Vela thought he could open up our connection, offer everybody the freedom to come and go. It really didn't go as planned. It was a huge disaster. A lot of people died. Either that or they got stranded in space. My mother was one of those people. This project needed brightest minds on Terra. Unfortunately, losing all of them harmed our world's progress. But we know our mother is out there. She'll come back one day. She has to find her way. With how smart she was, it'll be simple. Righty's job was to protect everyone, so he felt responsible. Under his watch, we lost a ton of important people. And that's why he watches over us now. I guess he holds himself accountable for what happened to our mother. It's not his fault though, and besides, Vela made up for it. How could you make up for something like that? He funded the creation of this tavern, a central landmark for all off-worlders to report to. The word of Terra in this tavern spread far and wide. The goal was for the people we lost to eventually hear about it. Then they know how to find their way home. So they either died or were whisked away to other planets. That's a lean theory. They must be out there, feeling so homesick. That's definitely relatable. Imagine how they feel then. They lost for well over a decade. Thanks for listening, by the way. I'm sure you had a few questions in the back of your mind. A few is definitely an understatement. I'm just working hard until Mom comes home. He gulps like he's a little nervous. Do you think I'll see her again, Shydo? You're the savior, so you must know. I guess my identity definitely isn't a secret anymore. I don't know which one's the right answer, but I'm gonna go. Of course you'll see her again. To make you feel better. I knew it! He looks extremely happy, even if he did put me on the spot. Righty's resentment grew over time, and it led to the story he told you in the cellar. Is he right? Maybe, but I don't think so. I actually have a theory what Vela is up to. Another theory. What do you think is going on? Well, Vela doesn't throw the term saving around lightly. The last time he did was before the Exodus project. Whatever makes you special, I think he wants to use it. He's gonna helm another Exodus project. Thanks for listening to me, but anyway, I'm just hoping that Claire loses the election. Vela and Claire do seem like direct competition to one another. One seeks to serve connections, and other wants to open them. Things are starting to get a bit more sense. I'll let you get back to those friends of yours. Something tells me you have a lot more to talk about. He looks towards Andy and Conrad as he says friends. I excuse myself from the table and continue on my journey. I arrive at the table. I sit down from the assassins. There's a bit of awkward silence, but Conrad is the first to break it. Wow, looks like someone's popular. Everyone wants a word with you, huh? I know what I'm gonna pick. Getting jealous, Conrad? Trust me, if I was jealous, you know. Bet you are. Anyway, I think we have more pressing matters at hand. What's going on? Well, Andy went to check the mail. It was basically lined with dust. No letters at all. Just like Righty said. Conrad is jumping to conclusions though. He thinks Kaylin must be in danger. It's pretty clear, Andy. That letter was his mission. He failed. Conrad sighs. Andy thinks we should fast track to Vela. I think we should go and rescue Kaylin. The savior is more important, Conrad. Besides, we can't just go attacking Claire's home. Again, Riley's theory continues to be true. Something seems off here. At least, meet me in the middle, Conrad. What are you suggesting? Let's spend the night here. Kaylin's letter could come tomorrow. We can give it one more day. After that, we really need to deliver the savior. And please, stop saying that things seem off. We both know that Vela is a man of pure intentions. Pure intentions were his personal assassins. I don't have time for this. Andy stands up. This conversation we'll just go in circles. We'll check the mailbox in the morning and go from there. And if you say so. Andy storms off, clearly riled up. Conrad was just. Andy storms off, clearly riled up. Conrad was actually the reasonable one this time. Well, I guess it's just the two of us. Anyway, Andy is way too loyal for Vela Corez. I can tell it's starting to cloud his judgment. In order to follow someone, you have to see their imperfections. Anything else is just blind worship, and that's not my style. I wouldn't mind if you worship me, actually. You know I already do, Savior. I'm flattered that you staying to chat with me. He winks clearly, signaling some sort of interest in me. I just wish Indy wasn't so quick to anger. It's like trying to convince a brick wall. Thankfully, you seem to have an open mind. Vela isn't perfect, especially if he works with assassins. We were supposed to keep it a secret though. Hopefully this doesn't spread around too much. A while back, Vela kind of messed up. There was a big project which caused a big catastrophe or whatever. That Exodus project. There were quite few attempts to dethrone Vela. Many would say that they were justified, while others would disagree. Essentially, his reign was in jeopardy. He needed people to help quell these insurrections. You mean he need assassins? Exactly. He wanted Righty to lead the group. After recruiting two others, everyone would report to Vela. He found me and Indy. We were supposed to ensure the king's reign from the shadows, but publicly Vela would make reparations. He funded this tavern and tasked Righty with building it. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, we face litmus tests. Something to prove we could kill Varvella without hesitation. That doesn't sound too good. He handpicked targets for each of us to kill. They were people we knew, in some cases loved. No hesitation, no remorse. Anything less would never do. So you killed your friends? I was just a dumb kid, Shydo. This was a long time ago, you know. But Andy was old enough to know better. I watched him kill his friends and family in the name of our king. This is where things get interesting, though. The target that Vela picked for Righty, it was PB and Pidgeot. Righty declined and fled in shame. He felt responsible for the loss of their mother, so it hurt them like that, and then killed them? That's what caused the divine. We became assassins, and Riley started his own guild. Instead of kill, he'd protect, all while watching the rabbits in the tavern he built. With Vella's coin, no less. Pretty ironic when you think about it. Anyway, I take it you won't repeat this stuff? We swore we swore an oath of secrecy, but I guess I'm too cool to follow the rules. He smirks. For real though, our little secret. I don't seem to have much of a choice. Oh, but that's when we make the best decisions. Nothing like thinking on your feet, right? I nod. I happen to think you're pretty cool, and I definitely noticed you flirt with me once or twice. I nod again, seeing no reason to shy from the truth. Mm-hmm. Out of all the characters, you won the hot ones. Too bad. There's a lot going on right now. I mean, the fate of the world could be at stake. Makes things all more thrilling, don't you think? He reaches out and places a hand top of mine. Maybe after all this blows over, we can give something a shot after you seize your grand destiny or whatever. He smiles at me. Sounds good to you? Just put it on pause for a while. Yeah, just for a little while. Well then, I look forward to it. Maybe we can have a little fun at the castle. Trust me, the most extravagant places you've ever seen. I notice a soft blush on his face before he breaks eye contact. Anyway, guess I'll get going. See you tomorrow? I nod again. Conrad gets up and leaves. There's a lot going on, an intricate web of politics and decree. It was still impossible to know if I was on the right side. Take a deep breath and stand up. Guess it was time to get some rest. I walked past all the rooms, looking for one would be mine. Eventually, I found one with a cartoon drawing attached to it. It's a drawing of me, or at least something that looks like me. Pidgeot wouldn't be winning any award anytime soon. At least he marked the room for me. I'll have to thank him. But for now, I enter, intending to savor every second of spare time. So seems like me and Conrad are me date in this visual novel. Anyway, I have to say, I really appreciate the help. Destroying that mall was, I mean, destroying that mail was a great idea. Now we can guarantee an attack on players' estate. Whether it's led by Right to or Indie, it doesn't matter. Though I'm a little surprised about the savior you mentioned. That was kept a secret even from me, but it could make for a perfect contingency plan. Didn't think you'd be the type to sell them out though. How do you think they'd feel if they knew? I don't need your lecture, me, Riley. I'm old enough to make my own decisions. Of course. And you'll get your money soon enough. Then you can buy Pidgeot whatever he wants. I think that meant then, but whatever. Or I don't know. I didn't do this for money, Riley. You said you had information about our mother. Did I? You must be mistaken, Peavy. Perhaps you should get things written down in the future. Bad news, Riley. I know some powerful people. Yeah, I'm one of them. So, It's info on your mother you want, huh? Then perhaps you'll do another job for me. Not yet, I'm not finished with this. Why do you want player on a hit list? I thought he was your boss, your friend. My friend, don't be foolish. You're right about him being my boss though. But that only made him a stepping stone. He's snuggling up all those previous votes from me. Then when he's out of the picture, I can swoop in to carry on his legacy. First mayor, then king. You have no honor. No room for that in a game like this. Only the only the most resourceful can rise to the top. Fine. What's the next job then? Not now, PB. I'll be in touch. Without another word, Riley leaves the cellar. I don't like this PB. He lied to us. Yeah, I'll admit that he outplayed us. He probably doesn't know anything about Mom. This is just for his own benefit, isn't it? I'm starting to think so. But he'll get what he's coming to him. He will? Yeah, evil men always do. Meanwhile, in the comfort of your tavern room, it took a few hours before the tavern came to a lull. Last call must be pretty late around these parts. I can hear doors open and close as people scurry off to sleep. Guess I should try and sleep too. What else is there to do? I'm not sure if I doze off, but I'm jolted awake. A knock sounds at my door, getting more intense and intense. It's like somebody's panicking. Hopefully everybody's okay. I jump up and rush to the door. Awaiting me is a man I've never met. Oh, thank goodness you opened the door. Know the moment, and he pants heavily and closes the door behind him, and seconds later he holds up a piece of torn fabric. It's stained with blood. My boss lost his mind. He attacked me and tried to kill me. He paces around the room, clearly having a panic attack. What would he do this? Blair always has been kind. Blair? I suddenly realized the urgency of this situation. I tried to call out Indy and Conrad, but Riley silenced me. No, please. Nobody can know where I am. I have to think and make the right move. I crossed my arms and asked him to introduce himself. If I'm gonna help him, I might as well know who he is. Of course, my name's Riley. Thanks for your shelter, Shydo. How does he know my name? I'm starting to get some bad vibes here. I take steps away until my back is against the wall. Riley steps forward, looking around the room in a panic. I won't be here long, I promise. Just need to figure out this all out. It happened so suddenly, and really, I'm just scared. That's a feeling I can relate to. He takes a few deep breaths and starts to calm down. When he's more relaxed, he throws the fabric on the ground. Sorry, just making me relieved of all of this. I need to stop thinking about it so I can focus. He takes a step towards me, his trembling slowly subsiding. That, and I need to make it look like he struggled. He lunges forward, wrapping his arm. Um, he lunges forward, wrapping his hand around my throat. I squirm and struggle, unable to breathe. I try to call for help. Silence. I kick him to no avail. He uses my dwindling strength against me and stomp on my foot. My vision starts to fade, along of any attempt to pry his hands off to me. There's such a conflicted look on his face. It's like he doesn't want to do this but needs to. He growls but almost struggles to follow through with it. But as I lose consciousness, he starts to smirk, almost like a killer, finally understanding the thrill of the hunt, or at least it's clear that any doubt he had subsided in the face of his goal, whatever the goal was. Rest well, Savior. Last thing I remember as I pass out is the arc that man promised me that no harm would befall me on Terra. As a couple tears streamed down my face, I realized that he may have been wrong. The Winds of Change, complete chapter 3. Meanwhile, in the throne room. Well then, Rayo, things are getting more complicated. Worrisome, I might add. Earth spins inch closer to my throne. It's almost like a game to them, but remember, it's trivial. Consider our goal. Think, it, think of it as entertainment. It's definitely fun to watch, isn't it? Especially with how wrong right he is. He's scrambling in the dark for anything he can get. Perhaps I should have been more open about my plan. It would have been a noble thing to do. Noble, sure, but not fun. I like the idea to have keeping it all a secret. I'm not looking to have fun, Rayo. This is about to change for everybody. Fine. As long as my end of the bargain still stands. Of course, Earth is yours to play with. I have no need of it, especially now that the Savior is on Terra. Well, about that, I'll be sending them back home. At least for the time being. Why? They have to keep up appearances. I figure you won't know about that, Bella. As one of the lucky two, they have to play the part, but don't worry, you'll have them back soon enough. This is part of your own plan, isn't it? Perhaps I should never. This is part of your plan, isn't it? Perhaps I never should have given you Earth. It is, and it's too late back out now. Life for our Savior is about to change. Things were a bit too boring for my taste. I see. I can't be all fun and games for them, right? Soon enough, even more danger will arrive in Tokyo, and it will claim of lives of even more. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.